welcome to another beautiful Bar Z job site. And we're reviewing some plans right now. These are from Sandblast. And this is a system we're putting in right here. This is a recovery system for abrasive media. We've got a pit, sits below ground, a hopper, a drum assembly with an elevator. This is an elevator that takes media all the way to the top, dumps it down through a shaker, an air wash, a charge bunker, and then down into a blast pot. And then the blast pot sits at ground level, and this is all attached to a blasting type booth. And I'm going to show you all this stuff in reality. There's an exploded view of the system there. And we're going to show you everything it takes to make a recover abrasive media and reuse it and clean it and pull out the dust. Because if you keep spraying dust over and over, all you're doing is making a cloud of dust and you're not sandblasting parts. We want clean, nice abrasive media with no dust in it. All right, let's go take a look at the booth, and we'll start right in the chamber where all the sandblasting happens, and we'll work our way through recovery. Okay, so this is an abrasive blast booth, which is not completed yet. We still got a ceiling section out of it. We don't have the front panels on, nor do we have the doors. We got those new invisible doors, the new see-through doors. There's rubber mats hanging from the walls. These just simply drape down here, but that protects the steel. And they're just in on a track system up top that just hangs there. So those are 4 by 10 rubber sheets bolted to that little hook up there, and they just drape down and go all the way to the floor. So that protects the walls from any abrasive blast. You know, when you abrade rubber, it just kind of bounces off. I know it's kind of dark in here. You'll notice all we've got is lighting in the ceiling. Those are going to be those are LED high bays that go in there behind a piece of Lexan. So it is going to have light, but only from the top. And then the floor gets steel plate. There's a steel plate that goes down and protects the concrete from getting abraded. And then this is a manual reclaim. They have to actually broom sweep everything over to this pit. And I'm going to try to pull this up so you can get a look down in there. This is just a very large piece of perforated. As you can see under there, it's a pretty deep hopper. This is a 7-foot deep hole in the ground. All right. So that's a piece of perforated there, so you don't, you know, lose your wedding ring or something down the hole. But everything gets manually swept into that hole. And then our extraction is out here and out here. That's where the dust and everything goes out. So this will be a full enclosed booth out here. All the air for the air makeup goes in these 4 holes right here. There's a labyrinth type inlet, 4 there, and there'll be 4 over here in the ceiling here. That's where the air comes into the booth, and the booth's always under a vacuum, and then it goes out there and there to a dust collector outside. So anything that gets airborne is out of here. Anything that's heavy enough to fall to the ground, broom sweep it back over to there. Let's go take a look at how we process the broom swept media. This is the back side of the booth, as you can see. And these are your inlets for, they go out to the dust collector. These are a real heavy 10 gauge. The whole booth's made out of 14 gauge. This is all very heavy galvanized steel. And there's the other section there. These each have a kind of a gate, so you can adjust you adjust the airflow side to side, so each one's got a slide gate on it. All right. And then this is opposite of that hopper that I showed you inside. And that's a 7-foot deep hole in the ground. And you can see we got another gate right down there, and a flex hose. I'll zoom you in a little bit. It's kind of dark down there. There's a slide gate there, so we can charge the bottom of the elevator. And then that's where the hopper dumps down that flex hose in through that gate. That's going to charge the bottom of the elevator. And inside that elevator, you'll see a mining belt. I'm going to show you up here where it's not so dark. Okay, here's a better view of it up above ground. And this is just a mining belt. When these buckets get bolted right to the belt. So this elevator's, I think it's a good 12, 14 foot tall. So these go down and scoop up the sand down at the bottom of the elevator. And then these carry it all the way up this unit. That belt goes all the way up to that top shiv up there. And there's a gear motor up on top, or a right angle gear motor, and a motor that hangs off the side. And that runs off of VFD, so we can control how fast we pick up sand from the bottom. So right here, our sand is still dirty, where we pick it up down there at the bottom of that elevator. And after we get a hold of it, we take it all the way up, and then you can see where it goes over the top, it comes out of that chute on the side right there. So right there, our sand is still dirty. It's still got dust and stuff in it. And I'm going to take you up top on the catwalk. This is called there's a shaker box up there, and it's called an air wash. And then after it goes through the sieve and the shaker, then the media actually just falls. And as it falls, there's an airstream that's pulling against it, and it pulls any of the dust or any of the lighter material away from the actual Sandblast media. And it falls into this, they call that a charge bunker there. And we got a sight window on the side, so you can see how much media is in there. There's a window on the other side, so you can always see how much you got in your charge bunker. And out of the bottom of this charge bunker, we've got another gate valve here, so we can charge our blast pot. This is where our blast pot sits, just below the charge bunker. And when you turn the air off to the blast pot and open it, there's a poppet valve inside up there that as you depressurize the blast pot, the poppet opens up, and you can open up your gate valve, and your media will just gravity feed right down in the center. This is just a vent to blow the air back in. And you charge your blast pot, close your gate valve, repressurize, and go back to work. So it's real easy to recharge a blast pot. So you can have a pot full of media, and a bunker full of media, and a hopper full of media too. So this holds quite a bit of material. Now out of that shaker up top, you're going to see that pipe on the right, and you see another hose here on the left, and those both go to this. There's a waste can down here. Any lighter material that falls away from the airstream is going to come to this waste can. And then that little 5-inch, that little guy right there, that goes out to the dust collector. That's what creates the air wash across the media. As the media is tumbling down through there, it's actually pulling a small amount of airflow across a curtain of sand. So any lighter material gets pulled away and goes out to the dust collector. So all you get in this bunker is clean, dust-free media. So you're not recycling your dust over and over and over again, and it's coming out of the blast hose. But then blast pot, sandblast hose, trigger hose, and then there's PPE right there. Let's go up top and look at that sieve and the shaker and see what that's all about. We got a catwalk and an access ladder over here. That part of the machine needs attention pretty much daily. You go up there and have a peek at it. So we give them a permanent ladder. Okay, we're up on the catwalk here. And you see we've got a screen right here. This is the air inlet to make up for the air that's going out on the out to the dust collector. And up on top, this is an access door on a hinge. This is where our elevator dumps into this chute right here. And then inside of here, there's fingers inside of here that spread out the sand and give us a curtain of sand all the way across. Then that gets distributed down to this shaker. There's a rubber flap there that's bolted in, and this thing's sitting on vibration mounts in all four corners. And this is what's called a vibratory motor. It's an electric motor with a couple of counterweights, and when it runs, it shakes. So this whole box sits there and shakes, and your sand is tumbling down this screen, and any lighter material is going to stay up on top of the screen. Any usable is going to screen through and fall down. So that's a shaking sieve right there. And any trash or anything you get goes into this chute, down to this box, and this goes down to that waste can, that blue waste can I showed you earlier. Okay. So let's go on the other side and take a look at the air wash. This is the sieve right here, but the sieve and the air wash are all in the same box. Okay, this is the air wash section over here. This is where your duct hooks up. There's a blast gate right here for your that goes off to your dust collector, so you can control your airflow right here, and that tees into this box right here. So you've got a box here, and if you look inside the window, you've got a little slot that's under a vacuum at all times, and that's opposite of that screen I showed you over on this side over here. So you've got a constant air velocity running sideways inside that box, and your media is literally falling down this hopper right here. So it's falling through in kind of a waterfall of sand, and we're moving air across it sideways. So anything dusty or anything gets extracted and pulled out to the dust collector right here. And this gets teed into our big ducts that were all the way in the back of the booth. We're up on the lid of the blast booth right now. And those two big ducts right there are going out to the dust collector out back. So that one, and that little one back on the elevator all branch together, and you go out through the wall, and the dust collector sits outside. Okay, so if you wanted to know what an elevator is and how we process sandblast media and clean it and reuse it and recharge a blast pot, that's the way we do it right there. But that's the whole system right there. All right, I might bring you back when we're getting a little closer to done, but if you wanted to see you know, how the pros do it and reuse their media over and over again, this is how they do it. And now you're looking down in that pit. There's that pit down there. That's a 7-foot deep pit. So you need some headroom to make all this happen. You got to go below ground and above ground to make all this happen. All right. And there's your belt tensioner. That's where you tighten your that big mining belt with all those little scoops on it. All right, guys, I might bring you back when we're complete here and get this thing up and running, but outside of that, I thought you'd be interested in seeing how a pro-grade sandblasting system works. And while I'm working down here, the boys are working down there on a liquid paint booth. That's a diesel-sized booth for trucks. So that's a truck reversed air paint booth, no heater. So they got the spray chamber up in the last 2 days. The closer you get, the bigger it looks. It's 44 feet long, 16 feet wide, and 16 foot tall. And we still got the plenum to put on and doors down at this end. So that's the spray booth, and down there is the blast booth. All right, you guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. See you on the next one.